Hello, friends, and welcome. It's Feedback Friday. Oh, God. Who's first? Meow. Damn. What the fuck is this, man? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get set up. There we go. All right. The screen is alive. Our hearts are lit aflame by the warmth of this Feedback Friday. The world may be in ruin. The rest in turmoil, but beat will remain. Position, stay topmost, because we stay on top. All right. Hi, Conco. Hi, Ian. Hi, Neb, Magdweet, Larry, Bean, Magdweet. New Jersey, the state of New Jersey. Like the vid right now, or I'll be a little upset. Manipulation stream. Yeah. That being said, hope you guys have worked on some fun tunes. Okay, I'm going for a legitimate appearance, so I appreciate that. It's very thoughtful. Begin. You cannot say that, bro. That's so hard. That's so hard. There's one part. I mean, that riff is really hard. I can see that fill being used more often, or as a call or whatever. That sound and shit together. The mouse! Help! Alright, we're fine. Also, yeah, slide whistle is an awesome feature. Yodel vibes? Just lots of nice sound design. I like how it's jumping through harmonics, like as part of the phrase. Generally, the groove is laid down firm for the whole lot. And there's a lot to love in it. However, before I address your questions, I will speak my truth. I think we can give the arrangement more love, you know? I think that's one of the biggest things separating it from like a pro level is that it just, he had too much fun producing it is what that is. No, it's that it just legs drop and endless variations. That's nice, but consider adding like a little mix out break in the middle, you know, and just building as much up and down tension as you can. You know what I mean? It's like, I want to feel like this track surprised me. Like I walked into the movie, like it didn't just have the same two characters. Like there's a weird third dude that comes in. All right, but that was the slide whistle. However, if the slide whistle teased, no, but I just for the sake of studying it, you know, look at a track you love, look at like professional level track or whatever, and do their arrangement. I'm not saying you have to commit to that forever, but at least like get it in your ear, get it in your skills, because it pays off. It makes you look nice. Yes. So what that might look like, just a breakdown for the most part. A little less on the variations. A little more intentional on the variations, you know? Kind of like two different tunes. And also like mix down. So mix down thoughts. I don't know. So trying to get the mix down and arrangement, I think we can have shit like reverb throws, so it doesn't sound so dry permanently. And or, you know, the hats being a little like richer, a little more up front. Because as is, it sounds like they're back to the bass, you know? So rather than like a scene being set, it feels like this bass is kind of digitally taking up the whole room, you know? But the thing is, like, you're putting in the work. There's a lot of dope things in here. It's just a matter of picking the dopest thing. You know what I mean? Or it's like the simple fact, it's like, no, I'm not finding a good metaphor. Like an R&B singer or whatever, they can do like a bunch of random riffs all day and they sound awesome. But if they want to make a song, they have to choose one. Like it's essentially the same for bass. You know, even though you can noodle for a long time and it's really fun to produce, for the listener, they aren't as familiar. And you'd be surprised the depths that come out of even just something you might write off when it's repeated and varied in intentional ways. All right. Shit. Okay. I think like brighter, more open high end. 3K-ish range in the bass. It didn't strike me as like harsh. I like its forward sound, but I think it could feel brighter on the top. The sub feels really nice with it. It doesn't feel disjointed. It feels like it's supporting without directly following, you know, emphasizing certain parts. Yes, I would say more stereo, just a little. Yes, or fill the space. But pretty much, yeah. I should have just read your question because that's what I was saying. Maybe bass 2 mono, add more stereo, and yes, fill space with a little bit of stuff, and or, you know, like reverb throws, a little more like high end, like percussion spliced throughout. Nothing else is really harsh. But part of the thing is, at times, like the dan 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 dan, that grit and that harmonic is so clear, you know? While on other basses, it gets drowned out by the rest of the distortion or how the mix is layered, you know? So I would appreciate more things sounding as forward as that. All right. 3 DAWs. Word up. Great out. What's so great about this? He's had such a transformation the past 2 weeks. He's heavy and real. Look, I asked the question because I don't know. It's not every day that like somebody like spins around their sound and it goes like 10 times harder. What clicked? What was it that subjectively happened? The shit you've been putting on the past few streams is different and very fucking hard. So tell me, sir. All right, nonetheless, made faster than most of your tracks trying to trust instincts. I think that's fine. In fact, that's usually a preferred way of production, honestly, because I'd be thinking too damn hard. Work faster, fewer layers, trust instinct. Words to live by. Fewer better sounds. Words to live by. Words to live. All right. Yeah, he said work faster, fewer layers, trust instinct, fewer better sounds. High free will. All right. Does it sound unfinished? No. No. If anything, this part struck me as needing polishing, the midsection. Although the way it did build tension and have this break here, like I was rehooked, you know? Whoa. The bass does go off, and root note is fine. We make bass music, but you know what I'm saying. As long as you're mindful of it. And also, you're switching a lot of harmonics, you know, very different tones coming from the root note alone. That's the benefit. I think you can hear it. I think it can be more obvious. It doesn't sound as like honky as a... The texture sounds a little more forward. As if there was like less rumbly FM. If I'm hearing... Excess sub. It sounds about fine, like 0.1 decibel, bro. Lower, if anything. I think you could push that out more, find a way to design it, like, on purpose. Yeah, I was hearing that. Otherwise, like, I'm not in love with the snare. I think, like, something tighter would go hard on here. Like, it sounds like, or like glitch hop type snare when this is kind of deep. You know, more of like, maybe like the dryness of a glitch hop snare, but just like kind of a rim shot or a trappier layer. Or even if this one was kind of transient shaped tighter, I think that could be cool. No, multiple kicks is the future. Simply put, it's, you know, when you're playing a real drum kit, you're varying the velocity with how hard you hit the kick, you know, and that lets you create different feels in your groove. But the way to do that digitally is just to have multiple things going on, you know, one brighter, one a little dimmer, or something. In my opinion. And the same with hats, you know. I believe that's what it's simulating. I feel like the kicks could be compressed a little, or at least the second quieter kick could come up. Because it's just slightly like unnerving. Yes. Layer all the kicks you own in the DAW right now and post them in the samples preset channel. And I think some type of like more high-end filling, whether like effects, ear candy, or hi-hats, would feel nice on it. Also, watch the stereo. I don't love the sound of like stereo clip-ish bass. On mid and low end. Main figure ever played? Probably not. Knowing you, probably not. And as we repeat it, it's easy to say that. But if you want 180, this is. I'm excited for this one. It sounds nice already. And Shamer's fire. Me making harsh noise in the studio. Me adding 3 riffs. Love it, dude. Bro has mastered the squelch. The squelch your piece. Squelch mania. I like the way it feels like it revs down. Like a car decelerating. Now it's idling. Yeah. I feel like these breaks ended up a little dry. It just feels like they're awaiting some nice patty stuff. In 2013, when Tipper invented music theory with his track Bangarang, I wept. I wept. Yeah. Let's try break here. In terms of the thickness, I feel like you can process the fuck out of this squelch to make it super forward. I feel like there's some mixing sauce that can be applied to make it sound like as full as a main bass. True. Happy birthday to Shamer. Everyone wish him a happy birthday. He's now 9.5. And the little lo-fi drum section is quite cool. It's a cool way to like turn the energy on and off. For real. This is what he heard in the womb. So, process this main thing to sound almost as full as a main bass, so I would like stereo it. OTT the shit out of it. Like distort, you know, EQ stuff. Just pull out every trick in the book, even the dirty ones. What would that be in production? Because it's not OTT, because we use that as we delve into a world of sin. It'll be slate fresh air for me. Yeah, reverb on it could be nice. True. Alright. Other thing, I think it could have like one more kind of like bass layer, like the squelches, the main bass, and just like something else to follow in it, you know? May or may not be the same thing I'm hearing in the break, right? No. All producers should be doing that. It's not 30. I mean, I don't know, that there's this main dude, like, kind of reverby bass. There's a sub, there's a lot of ear candy. I'm not sure. Or even some type of, like, kind of full bass that you can use in, like, fills or an occasional call, as opposed to just keeping his support also subby. Right, I think that could take it up a level of sorts. Groove is grooving. Something probably a little grittier. Drums are mean. Add conga loop. Also, you can maybe like more substantially kind of change his octave, change his tone. Maybe like make him sound dispersey, or like add a fast LFO to his squelch. So instead of it's, you know, type shit. Just some type. Alright. Add marching band, add mariachi. Hey, 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 true. I'm agreeing with cap tracks. Out of better the basement.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
just because you're ugly.
Hard. What's his name?
Hey, pal. You just blowing from Stupid Town?
Too hard. The riff as well.
Hey, pal. You just blowing from Stupid Town?
Just that main phrase is so solid. It's catchy. Bam. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Because it's clear. That. Like that's repeated twice in a small phrase, but in a different way. It's kind of cut off. Right? Scheme on this, man. It's true though. And I like how the tension was set up. This is hard. The tension before there and how it just dries up. That's beautiful.
Well, maybe it's just because you're ugly.
So if anything, a little less forward on the white noise most of the time, and I would advise picking different sound effects overall for variety, for texture, for interest, you know, or layering them so they have a little more character. I like the distance a bit. They have a cool feel, but at the same time, like the distortion on them makes them sound amateurish.
Hey, pal.
Kick isn't quite it. Like the first kick, it's a little dirty. I don't know. I was pretty impressed with this one. So my frank, sincere advice is like, that's loud. Snare could be brighter. That's lower. Refit how this kick goes in. So with the processing on this kind of bass, and just leave some like kind of high end richness in the samples. I like this background pad, but like when a lot of things sound like bandpass, it just sounds like noobish to me. Present in these breaks. Sub could be a little more forward. I think the main bass could be a little less stereo. Possibly. Kick pretty loud here. And clap pretty loud there. When here, they could kind of... The kick could come up, and I like where the clap sits. It just sounds like it needs to be louder. But that's also fine. Just watch the muddy feel. Honestly, could maybe benefit from having more mono on the bass. I like it on some tracks, but I find when it's layered in, you don't appreciate like the coolness of that sound, you know? And it just might end up sounding more congested to a reference. Personal device. I like that. That's hard. I saw the art you posted too. That was fire. So far. Damn, beautiful. See? Learn music theory. Or look. I know that makes your heart sink hearing it to anyone out there. But otherwise, like, just try arranging on a piano on its own. You know, try arranging MIDI with just one patch, you know? That's something to practice, and it lets you be able to make stuff with a lot of emotional charge. You know, so even if you want to learn music theory, learn MIDI. All right, 2023, 2024, we learn in MIDI, but what year is this? Nonetheless, that was amazing. No. said that? Awesome. There is enough variation. It's chill, it's vibey. It doesn't journey leaps and bounds, but it is stable, passing by as a stream. Something I don't love though is the sound of like this reverby dude tapping in the background. To me, it sounds like when I have reverb on a track and it has a click from like Serum or something, and then I hear the click and the reverb and it's something I want to remove. That with the clipping. I don't know, it's an alright sound though. And reusing instruments, I think when you're on this level of like composing, it's fine, bro. Dude, make a piano album. He's worried he's reusing instruments. No, you know what I mean. Yeah, and the way like the MIDI, like the melody was varied and layered through here, that was awesome. Sub a little heavy. A little loud, could be washier. I think maybe the piano could be slightly brightened as a treat. True. C418, low-key. The sounds. Other thing is, I say this a few times, but kind of switching the registers that things occupy. So if you like take away the fullness of this mix and just have the piano like tinkling only in that high register, that'd be beautiful. And same with the opposite, you know, if everything kind of subdues to a low range. Maybe you strip all the instruments away and just do a crazy arpeggio up to down. Because when you kind of have a leap, you know, after having this in a nice cozy range, that's wow. They don't sound clashing too much. The strings have quite a bit of low end stuff in them though. Yes, and like the tumultuous vibe towards the end is awesome. And I'm imagining some type of bell sound, like a bell that's not afraid to be brighter. You know, almost like the drum, 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 drum. You know, that kind of line. Because having that brightness jump in can do a lot for emphasis. Even like little timpani roll. Boom. Like to roll in on a downbeat. You know, throw the whole orchestra in there. Flutes. Type shit. I feel like I'm happy to hear that repeat and layer even weirder. To kind of like fade out or blast out. Blast off. Type. Alright. Appreciate it. No intro. Alright, it's over. Okay, it's not over. Sorry. That's still the hardest line ever. All right. That was insane. Probably like the most immersed I've been in a tune in a minute, I would say. Like the phrase is just too strong, and then you switch it off the call, it's just like fucking whoomp, and then you think it's gonna pick back up, but then it whoomp again, and then it's that whoomp. Oh. Yes, literally. Like, what is that? No, it's like mindfuck to the purest form, like, and it's just all because that phrase, that motif just holds it. Yeah. Yeah, this part was insane. Yeah. Honestly, if anything, I think it like fell off towards like the outro. Like, I felt like, alright. But then like it started doing variations that just weren't as keen, I found. Oh, that's nice. Maybe. And I almost like how it started, like with a little cute hook. It really does flow. It's one of the best flowing tracks in a minute, honestly. In terms of what I experience subjective. Too many different sounds? No. I mean, I think that's a strength, and they're like colorful, but like it gets surprisingly stanky despite like the amount of harmony. I think like tweak the intro, like maybe like holding this beat out for a little ish, like here-ish, maybe. I don't want to ruin an outro. I would say differ that. Like as for the mix, like reference like shit, because I think this track is insane and it deserves like industry mix down. Use every tool. This is the real journey. And I think it's ready. I don't know how much more there is to do. But you know what's best, sir. Your own tune. But to actually say some things on the mix down. It could maybe sound a little less like mid-range-ish. Take this with a grain of salt. Cymbals can be kind of changed. It might be SoundCloud compression, but they sound pretty white noisy. Like hearing some more like clean, like and harmonic tones would be nice. Just like quality multi-band. It's pretty mean. But it feels a little heavy. And a little clicky for to smooth in. There's fire. I like these in stereo. Sub could be made to stand out a little more. Yeah. The other stuff is like probably accountable to a bit of sound cloud compression. I'm just like hoping for just like really like pristine, like 4K quality tipper high end. You know what I'm saying? So, and that is addressed by like less white noise, more like enharmonic, like crisp cymbals and stuff. Yeah, the vibrato is nice. Like that sub just sounding perfectly glued. I don't know. Beyond that, it's hard to advise. I mean, for sure, gentle compression on like all your groups, you know, usually can't go wrong with in terms of like how it will come through on the master. I don't think a lot of clipping is underway. I don't think it ought to be for this feel, limiting a decent amount. You know, even try a little bit of like precise multiband stuff on individual tracks to make sure they're as just like beautifully clear like air as possible. Be sure to sprinkle a little saturation if you're not familiar. It's all over the place, man. And yeah. Beyond that, it's beautiful. Nice. And I'm proud of you. I'm overwhelmed. And maybe even like some like acoustic-ish layers like on the flute or something. Because it's like kind of a sine wave, but if you subtly layer like a real flute over it, it might just give it like that nice open air feel. Just like take that shit from 720 to HD. But, you know, feel free to revert it if it affects the goofy feel. My cinematic stuff, no. I think it was useful. Just watch how like bright it gets with the risers. Cinematic stuff, it was nice. Off-putting spots, yeah, I mentioned as it flow. Finales at some parts. Merge the tan section with the major motif. I mean, it felt merged to me. Speed up work, yeah. Alright. Yeah, probably. This is nice. Oh. Wow. Shit is monumental. The amount of vibe to start, and the amount of stank, like he went to heaven and hell in 1 minute and 57 seconds. And he took pictures. What do you mean, dude? My thoughts first. All right, I'll need more thoughts. This first drop was amazing. I was blown away by it. The intensity and the setup of the second drop is nuts. I feel like I want to hear these dudes like notched more, almost. Made almost like more dynamic, like either like Cohen or like Neuro-y. Like I just feel like it can go even more nuts and more fluid. Yeah, this is fire. I don't have a ton of complaints here. Just something personally though, it's like, so like with these saw chords, I'm weird about them because I use them a lot. Stuff to try. This is my secret. No, I won't say it. But I would essentially like compress them less, or like just help them still sound dynamic, you know, or if it helps, have a little bit of volume automation. Because I personally don't love the sound of like when that filter movement is made like kind of flat. You know, it's negotiable, but like if this is resonating. Pattern harmonics. What I would almost do, I would almost get like an 808 sample for this drop. Even one with a little high end on it. Just because I think like a little more open tone of it would be nice, and especially the way you're using it, just bringing it down on kicks. Needed to hear that. What in particular, brother? For some reason, I feel a little ambiance rain or something would be pleasant. All right. Need mids. I don't really know, but just make sure it has a little bit of space, like the sub isn't pushing too much out of the way. You know, the volumes on the rest aren't too aggressive. Because I think if you like lean into a bit of a light feel for the first drop is the vibe. Alright, I'll miss you. That transition's insane, dude. Sounds like a movie transition, like the way it switches chords then bends, the impact. So violent. Yes, all right. I don't know. I kind of love how disrespectful it is in a short period of time. It has a lot of charm. So I would say run it. And like in the future, it's like these like they're giving me slight neuro vibes. You know what I mean? So I crave like Cohen sound level of like fidelity on these neuro-esque dudes, you know, in your own way though. So essentially just like reinvent the wheel and make it fly into outer space. All right, should be easy enough. All right. Atometer. Atomator. Cars reference? No. Oh. Ooh. With that. That was fire. All right, here's my deal though. Here's my deal though. Let's just address your question, sir. I'm trying to add a square wave to the last drop with the sub. 2 separate patches, pure sine wave, other square wave flow for filtered out of the square wave. 1 dedicated patch with just the square wave as your sub. You could do either. That's a good question though. He's asking if he just has a square wave as a base, should he add a dedicated sub to it? You don't have to. Just acknowledge it might sound slightly different than like if you have a sine base layered right next to it. And in particular, like when you filter out the square and add your own lower 3 harmonics, it won't technically be like a perfect square because the low end is different, but essentially it's it's your choice. As long as the level's coming out and it's not like being mangled by OTTs and shit, should be fine. Not stereo either. Trying to improve the response call for the first 8 bars of the main drop. Sound is oversaturated and too wet. What are usually the main components that make a pat sound too wet so I can avoid overusing these effects? I'm so impressed by the sir's questions. Tomater, you with me? Okay, so too much wetness. I'll just go down a list. Too much chorus, too much detune, too much feedback on anything. So that could be delay feedback, that can be chorus feedback, that can be reverb decay. It can even happen with like OTTs. If you have too many OTTs, it makes it washy because it adds like sustained tails to certain areas. It's true, slightly. Not the perfect wording, but I will move on. Besides, additionally, if you just have like a sample, like or something weird, something that's not like a clean bass sound. Oh, another thing, if it's modulated too much, it'll sound too wet. Like if you're just wiggling a wave, so it's just flopping around, it's wet. You know what I mean? Like essentially, wet is a dry sound. Sounds like a dry saw wave sounds like a perfect saw wave. A wet saw wave, like it's not a perfect saw wave, and it might change over time. You know, it's not as firm in its movement. You know, it's slippery. At one frame, it might look like a saw wave. The next, it might look like a little washy, a little rounded out, you know, by reverb layers. You understand? Chorus, unison, detune. On this one in particular, detune. It also sounds too high and boosted. And also, nothing beats hearing it with your own ears, going through the effects and noticing, oh, this brings in that effect. Oh yeah, another obvious thing, serum like hyperdimension, like any like stereo widening effect could easily add that to your sound, too much wetness. So try, instead of shifting the frame in the wavetable, you can, like in Vital or Serum, you know, add a different warp mode. You can add bend plus, you can bend minus, you can like format shift in it. And additionally, you can, you know, essentially shift the tone of the wave without touching the wavetable. So that might mean, you know, adding like a phaser to like push certain harmonics, you know, maybe layering another oscillator in, maybe like peaking a flanger up for the second half, you know, anything that kind of results in like a different pitch coming out. Or you can say fuck it and like create a whole new patch that contrasts in a fun way in it. Limiters. General rule of thumb, what level synth basses, subs, and drums should be at. I don't have a written rule of thumb mentally though. Like when it's getting down to the grindstone on the mix, I level my kick and sub to about the same in the low end. And then I look on span and more or less. So on the spectrum, it's like what, like around -6 for the low end. On the span, I just make sure the high end looks about level with it. A little less than level, left to right. And usually the mids are a little scooped somewhat. Yes, mid bass should be the most forward with the drums. Sub level determines kind of the rest of the mix because it's pretty non-negotiable. You know, every track has a sub, and bass music is going to be loud. Yeah. what level should they be at on the master? They should all be at 0 dB. There was my huge in-depth info dump. I appreciate your provoking questions, truly. So I would switch the kick to something with more transient. Kind of like you put a bunch of reverb on stuff, I would avoid that. Watch the amount of stereo, burn that wetness down. This boy's too boosted in the high end, too processed. A little too distorted crunch. Pads could come up. Work on intros. This is another topic to look into. But work on building intros with some like wetter sounds, some non-bass sound design sounds. As you progress, you'll want to expand your sound palette, your sound design skills, right? Wow. This could have a nice fifth layer. Something tuned up like 19 semitones in the oscillator. I didn't love this variation. It felt like it happened soon, and I was loving the progression of the riff. Overprocessed saw here. Variation's a little happy. So, all those first things you can skim back towards. Overall, in the future, I would, make these pretty beautiful because that leaves a strong impression of the quality of your track. Mix down and reference variations as well. 3 separate things. Conco. Why is he that hard? Why is Conco this fucking hard? But what is floating? Is this like a tape measure? Also, the chain there is insane. This image goes hard. This tune goes hard. Convict cow, everyone. Woo! I mean, yeah. I just want to say the flock is very talented. I'd be happy to drop this one. But to address your questions, no. It's hard. I mean, it's sub. And the emptiness of it is nice. If anything, it sounds like it's almost trying a little too hard to be full, you know, like it's very dense in the mids. Like trying to push it forward, but you know, it's a sub trying not to be a sub, but it's a sub, so you know, I don't know. Oy. Transient's too harsh in the mix. I mean, they definitely punchy and crisp. I like how forward they sound. Like, they're probably a little too on the forward side, but it makes it sound just like crystal clean. Pretty sub heavy. That's insane to have that loud. I would stand with it though. Yeah. And I don't know. Personally, I'd watch like just the mid-range clippy, like soft clip. You know, overall. It's not a no-brainer, but I prefer like, I don't know. Not hearing it. And it's not present on all the bases, but in some sections, I don't know. I was just never a fan of that tone. It's probably proof in the alternate, but the fill just sounds loud. Like the ending too. It's just like how a band ends a song and they're just strumming the last chord and the drummer's going silly on cymbals. Huge one, man. ASMR. May I hear? I don't know. My impression is like, if you handed this to me to like reconstruct remix collab, I wouldn't want to touch it. If I needed to though, if you had a gun to my head, if you had a gun to Joe's head and said, flip this Concal track. Yeah, I mean pretty much what I said. I would like adjust like the midiness, like the soft clippiness of these. Find some godforsaken way to make the basses sound as like bright and tasty as these drums. I'll bring that down. Maybe. I'll just bring the rest brighter. We love bright. And yeah, I enjoyed this part too. Does its job. I like those drum samples. A little more intense riser. Add bars to this part. harsh and a little soon. Feel a little harsh. I said enough, man. My thoughts, there they are. Oh, how nice. A heart from Mom. Loves momming. Nightcore? Loud as hell. Wow. Solid. Loud as hell. Clippy as shit. I'm kind of impressed how loud it is, though. Like, it sounds like I'm in the DAW after, like, 4 hours of working, and I, like, just crank it a little higher on the monitors just to feel something. Type shit. Yeah, I think it's a solid length for a track. Nice girth. Overall, I rated it 10. Alright, next. I'm playing. Oh, that shit hard, though. That shit hard. Alright, that's going on the gram, dude. Alright. Back to this. Yeah. Check the levels. Check the clipping with the kick. This is why sidechain was invented. This is why Tipper invented it in 1933. And those fills gotta change. Like holy shit. That is loud, brother. That is loud. Doesn't have to go. He has to go down in level. He has to reduce his voice volume. Overall, it's cool though. I think in the future, it's gonna be really hard to repair this track, but yes, you were too clip happy, you were too distortion happy, you were too like post-process giddy. You saw a G clip, your feet started tapping, you started wiggling your toes, cheesing, started blushing. Honestly, I've heard worse quality for how loud it is. So I'll give you that. But alas, You know what I said. I'll use a different 808. It doesn't sound very 808y. It's too like second harmonic strong and like the decay ain't right. I don't know. Just use a sample, brother. Or if you're really interested in like making your own 808, I would resample it so it sounds 808y. You know, just I prefer not using like synth 808s. I prefer samplers for this audio, you know, because it changes how it behaves as it tunes around, especially if you have post-processing. EQs and such will resonate in certain areas. Almost too clean. That's because he blew out his ears. No, it does sound surprisingly crisp for how clipped it is. I would not say things have their own pocket. They sound like they're often getting clipped into each other. Can I hear them all? Yes. They don't sound pocketed though. In fact, that would be something to look more into, like ducking volumes when certain things come in. You know, ducking frequencies. Too quiet. Yeah, overall. If you really want to do blending in terms of layers, then yeah, just heavy EQ work, referencing different frequencies, mixing them together till they're perfect. Looking visually on the spectrum and cutting things in that place accordingly. You know, essentially like you want everything like pushing the top of each frequency without destroying the other thing. You know what I mean? It's like you're packing sardines, where you're EQing these frequencies out with a lot of layers. As precise or imprecise as you want it. Sub ain't it. I don't like the sound of the bwap. It's not as nice. Doesn't sound as bright, and like some of the background elements. Like din 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 din. Alright, there's my thoughts. Mix down reprisal. 808 switch. Length is fine. Having a bit lighter on the break may be nice for contrast. That's kind of genius, bruh. Huh. That's pretty insane. I never thought of that. Where did you learn this? That is like insane brain. Like mixing by placing things in time, just like subtly. You know, there's not enough room to clip like 3 transients at once, so you offset them. Like, would it perform though? He mentions it? Really? Alright, guess I should have watched it in its entirety. This is... It was dubstep. It had the headbang energy. It had the fucking intensity. Those drums are insane. I like the sound design. I like the drums. It's the mix, bro. I feel like I'm just mixating this whole night. That's all I want to do, man. This is what hours of mix downs will do to an MF. I see the world in decibels, EQs, and OTTs. My mind is a minefield of muddy 340 hertz. My only solace is the warm life of late fresh air. Day 15. Oh. Anyways. You're pushing volumes too hard. You just are. Like, it sounds like you have groups that are clipping into groups that are clipping into groups. Like, essentially, in a nutshell, take him right to the point where he doesn't look like a brick, okay? When, like, just the loud parts are at 0 decibel. And then proceed with caution. Hitting 0 decibels is only the beginning. Alright? As you push loudness more and more, like, you should be more and more cautious with each step, you know what I mean? It's like you're cooking a pancake, bro. But this pancake is your life. And you're on the tightrope, and everyone is worried for you. You leave this pancake on too long, you'll see how deep the rabbit hole goes, end up being abused by Bunting on stream for clipping. You need that golden brown zone, okay? Your mix needs to be golden brown. You need to be like varying soft clipping, hard clipping, limiters, even compressors if you're really advanced, man. Holy shit. It's raw. But yes. Exercise caution when pushing basses this hard. And just don't. You know, like, you can literally just add a utility or like reduce the gain into like whatever groups you have clipping, and that should be an easy fix. But if you have any other processing chains where that's happening, avoid that as well, you know? So less clipping, less distortion, less zeros for now. That's insane. And your tracks are way quieter. I don't know. Do a lot of mixdown research, man. Louder post-production, multi-band compression, saturation, EQing in the right spots. But you want your master to carry everything. How can you mix the elements better, though? Beyond the let's go to sidechain notes. You know, and also, like, in terms of mixing things to each other, you know, careful EQing. Essentially, like, everyone needs to study mix downs, even me, man. Even me. All right. EQing separate frequencies out and moving on. Deaths. No. Oh. I love that one. It was different. It had rough edges, but it was lovable within. Like, I like the pad. I like the choice of sounds. Have some nice, bright spaciness. Even love the weirdness of the drums, man. All right, I'll answer your questions before hating, as I do. How to build more tension. Study the art of the build-up. I mean, like, I should just write a book, man. And I'll say refer to page whatever. It's almost as if, like, somebody should, like, make videos on this, all right? No, well, watch the build-up videos, you know? So, stuff to add tension. All right. Now, who the hell is this, dude? All right, focus. Build up energy. You have a riser. like these kind of elements, like the hats, like the drums, you can filter harder with a bit of resonance to really sound like it's pitching up. You can use a flanger for fun times. You can wash it out with reverb. You can cut out more elements when this riser comes in, so really feel like things are awry. So pitch up your samples, wash out with reverb, filter harder, gradually introduce volumes over time. Cut that pad out or pitch that pad up. Compression. How to tell when it's too much? I mean, your ear will train. I mean, listen to like a Feedback Friday track compared to like a pro label type track or whatever from like a top artist. That's what compression sounds like. Like, kind of not a bad way to hear it, honestly. If you're just hyper focusing on the mix down. Yes, white noise riser. No, they're nice and they're really nice to have as layers. I use them all the time too. Not as a focal point often. Just noise has a lot of the excitement in it. It's a powerful sound. No, but like for a visual reference, I mean, push like your most aggressive sounds to where it's flat and no more. And the less aggressive sounds like pads and stuff, like only like adjust the threshold of like the compressor so it's just bumping it. Generally, there are many exceptions. It is a huge topic, but try that and train your ear to hear compression. A good way to do it is put it on drums. Something very transient, something very obvious to train. Fax to what? What is he faxing? I thought fax was sober. We sent emails. These kids with their fucking TikToks. How to improve mix of kick snare hats. They need to go lower. I would appreciate like a clap or some type of high-end airy layer on the snare. Hats are fine. They could have a bit more mono signal. Overall basses can come lower. It sounds pretty boosted in the mid-range, which I don't think is necessary. Less mid-range on the bass, more high-end on the bass. Wow, that's alright, I said it all. Peace. Meow, 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 meow. Hey, hey, hey. Come on with ya. Come on with ya. hard. That was cool. I love these breaks. Just the sub flutter with that ominous hum. Like be bigger, longer. I don't know. Kicks already loud. Maybe on the loud side. And if you're feeling longer, I mean, that'd be interesting to try. I don't know how it would pay off, but, you know, extend the length of the kick. I would make sure it's tuned pretty nicely. Even if you're big brain, like tune it to the pitch of the sub with each hit. Or have it stay on the root and make sure the sub is really tight with it so it sounds seamless, you know, because that's the consequence of a longer kick. But that'd be something unique for bass music. I do like the drum pads and drop. They're really awesome. I just love them. They have a cool air. Hums. I feel like on this kind of section, they sound somewhat louder. Why do I hear that? Doesn't have as much impact. I'll maybe like switch out the sample. You know, impact, I would assume being like the way it sweeps through the mid-range. I might prefer this kick. I don't know if you could like breed these two kicks together and have a baby kick that grows up to a fully fledged kick that sounds like these combined. That would be beautiful. I think it's lostable in. If anything, I feel like ear candies that almost lead you through the track could make it more lossy. Wheel up signal, reverb, delay. Wheel up signal, slowed and reverb, 10 hours. All right. Well, what is the origin of the wheel up signal? I only tell people what it is, not where it originates from. In 1943, when Tipper invented the wheel up signal. That's funny. Like, what is it? Is it a synth? It sounds like it could almost be like I don't know. Alright. So down I stand by it though. Something I said. Or if there's like an acoustic sound. I know like that one chirp you hear in Trap, it's like from a walkie-talkie. I was wondering if there's a similar origin. Damn. My boy, turn down your high end. Oh, wheel up from an aircraft. That makes sense. Wheel up. Alright. Me when I lie.
You see here, kid? You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes after or what came before. You just gotta bend your knees, take a deep breath, and jump. And you might think, what if I fall? Well, what if you don't? What if you fly?
What do you say? True. True, 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 true. Yes. So, first of all, I shouldn't have to say it. I don't even need to say it. Remove whatever peak you put up in that high end. Holy shit, man. It's generally fine for the rest of it, but slightly bright. Yes. Besides that, it's lovely though, so don't let my first impression sour you. Brother. I fuck with the drum beats. I fuck with like the tambourine. I fuck with the kicks. Snare could be a little different, a little brighter. little louder, a little layered. Effects come out pretty loud. These white noise basses come off too bright. When something comes in the mix and it's too bright, you know it's dynamic. Cymbal could come down. Tambos come down, snare come up. Brightness in some of those off fill basses with the noise. Yes, find one that's more piercing. With snare. More melodic aspect. I don't know, it didn't feel needed that because the way you built the phrases was so nice. So now. But I'm always worth trying something for the breaks that's more atmospheric with a bit of a motif. Wow, wow, wow. I wouldn't even say musically harmonic basses. I would say harmonically harmonic. You know what I mean? Like just sound design wise, not having to like hit harmony. Depends on what you're saying. Anyway, also the sound design is too repetitive. I think you could push it harder, more notches, you know, like neuro type shit where the modulations are getting cool different harmonics from it would be nice. Especially this one, they're sounding a little too deep fried, a little too rifted maybe. Too OTT, too processed across the board. I like these tones a bit, but towards here, yeah, and the amount of stereo is a little intense. Yes. But keep it a nice crunchy shit. You know what I mean? Like, you want to crunch like a Lay's chip, okay? Maybe for us dubsteppers, maybe it's like a Dorito. Or maybe, I don't know, like some corn. Some crunchy corn, dude. That's weird, isn't it? But you maybe you want like a bit of like peanut brittle crunch or something, all right? Like something a little hard. You don't want that shit to break your teeth, all right? Like Pringle crunch. No, essentially there's like good and bad kinds of crunch generally. And the more good crunch you have, the better boy you are. Yeah, jawbreaker crunch. We don't want that. You know, or set up the crunch so like their jaw is broken and they're loving it. The endorphins are hitting. Yes, answer from Vector, integrate. Like, distortion is an art, my brother. It is your palette. No, but if you're going to be distorting shit, do it very incrementally. Don't push things to the point of no return. You want shit to be like crunch on top of crunch, you know, a layer of crunch. You know, you want a varied dish with many flavors in it. You don't want to just like put a bunch of salt on it and be like, we're done. You need a tiny bit of salt, a pinch of paprika, a bit of garlic and onion. Yes, watching your streams would probably be good inspo. Because all the time I see dudes going for distorted basses and they just slam it too soon and it has none of the richness and all of the foulness. All right. Whoa.
That's
that's
another root
Blow
of
up and chill.
human struggle, worrying about other people's perceptions about who you are. Like, why would you ever care about that, you know? And I think that I fell victim to that in my past, of worrying about things that I can't control.
That was awesome. However, I would have a transition darker for the second drop. You know, because I love to hear cool switch ups like that. You know, down pitches work really well at making it sound super dark and weird. As opposed to Upriser. Real posted a track today that did that really well. Other things, it needs more sub. I would change the processing so it's a little less mid-chubby. And rehash this bass. It's just like thin. It's like bandpass telephone range. It's giving his fullness back. If it don't sound like an unprocessed saw wave, I don't want it. Meow, meow, meow. Not sure what you mean by the harmonics. I mean, there's a cool fifth in there, and I enjoy it. I like these little transitions. I think they could be made a little stereo. I think the filter could maybe be slightly tapered open for this bass. Sounds like it's high and it's being a little held back also by some distortion. It's also fun to have like notches countering the movement or peaks in other parts of the waveform to make it more rich of a sound. And that's the truth. Just use notches, use peaks, use phasers. That's a treat. I think the top lines, like the vocals and such, could be structured to be a little more melodic or harmonic. Right now, they sound like they're just kind of floaty, versus just a concrete repeated melody or chord progression would make them lovely. Okay, could use a little more low end. Oh shit. Glow Zebra. Ladies and gentlemen. Glow Zebra. Ladies and gentlemen. Putting the vibe hard. I agree with the title. Lovely. That was impressive and different. I'm surprised it really fits the theme of bioluminescence. It just feels like so glowy and sparkly, bro. Like it had an awesome sound selection and layers. Like a bit of fantasy. The vocal just gives it that like and the kind of brassy feel, that bass. It's like, oh, we out here in the wild, man. Yeah, so theme has a 10. That's how it ought to be. And a theory could be said, it's like, I don't know. I think really solid songs are made in that way. Because music, more than anything, is a way to like describe an emotional state. And if you're immersed in that, mentally in that space, even physically, then it's natural that what you build from it would be an accurate representation. It's like drawing a map. But to draw the map, MF has to be there. Sorry though. Yes, it's an interesting medium. Am I tripping or is there like panning? Yeah, it sounds like off to the left. It sounds like it was Haas affected unevenly. Yep. Scoop mids. Low less side chain, maybe a little lower kick. I'm not in love with like the rifty processing on this lead. I just want to hear its clarity and its character as a detail, and or more things like thrown through like the telephone effect. Is there anything I hate more? Yeah, there's just weird stereo bits throughout. Sounds like this could use another layer. Just solidify this build up. Whoa. Even a pickup. Kind of tricky, like not hitting that minor one so far in the arrangement. Could rehash that. I feel like it's a little too happy to like drop phrases for like airy moments, you know, or like when you're lifting it up so much, make sure at least you're holding their hand. I would change the snare. You know, and parts where you kind of off kilter the snare a little too much. You know, be clear on like what emotion you're trying to convey. Is it like an overwhelmment, like a trippiness, like even a confusion, like a disorientation? You know, and I'll tell that through more aspects of your arrangement. But at least for this like bioluminescent vibe, I feel like it would be served by something a little straighter. And I say in personal experience, like don't vary too much, or like don't be afraid of like a cliche, because I remember a track I worked on so long and I like fucked up the drums so much, like to like trick the listener in a way. But then I realized the listener has no context on what they're being tricked on, and I just kind of avoided nice drum patterns for awry ones. That being said, it's all out its place. $131. No. Like my blanket advice is just like stop fighting with cliches. Because it wastes a lot of time, and the majority of listeners are looking for cliches in your music. Cliches are almost a mark of quality. And the thing is, like, if you're like looking to avoid cliches to separate yourself from like quote the average musician, like I think the average musician doesn't even know what the cliches are. You know what I mean? And having that in your vocabulary, just like the shit that you know works, is impressive. Like, that being said, like I think there are places for that, and there's time for experimentation and all the rest, but generally just lay it down. Yes. In fact, if you just resist the cliche urge and like lay down, or the avoidance of cliches, and just make the most quote cliched track ever, chances are it's like your best track. And my theory is that like this is why artists are like, my best track is the one I hated, because it's the most quote cliche. When cliche is just popular and popular is just good. Isn't that weird? That's one way to frame it. If you make a song with popular sounds, the song will be popular. This is insane. Yes. No, and that's where the fun comes in. You know, you show them, yeah, this is the solid pattern, but I added a little spice on it. You know, I took the original formula, I made it. You know, like, people aren't gonna, like, want to eat, like, your experimental fucking, like, vegan tofu dish. They want chicken nuggets, bruh. But maybe you can get them to try the vegan tofu dish if you, like, dress it up like a chicken nugget. All right, bro. They don't even hear you. Yeah. Like, do they get a good feeling from the song or do they don't? Do they don't? Do they not? What? It's hard. The creation of art, I feel like it's inherently disconnected from its consumption. And in my mind, they should be closer, but in my experience, it's not true. But focus on the details. Eventually, you'll zoom out and notice, oh shit, I made the boner releaser. Yes. I don't know. So some real good conversations happening. I mean, generally, like, assess your audience, and like I would assign that as like a big problem with like this feedback community and like in my own music as well. Is that like I was like to like focus on like producer impressive stuff. You know what I mean? When a lot of time that's like interesting to dissect. You know what I mean? But it's like listening to a fucking like math equation. It's like listening to code. Like, put this code in a thing and show me like the video producers, all right? If we're like coding visual code, all right, you don't understand me, man. Anyways. Yes. Yes, that's fire. Especially in like our stream, because like everyone is so into sound design and like heavy drop shit, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's as if like you wrote hella sentences and they have perfect grammar, but like where's the fucking story? You know what I mean? It's like if grammar gets you off, then like, okay, solid, and like there's a community of people around that. But if you're into expanding, you know, you don't just do sound design, you like make the mix down nice. Okay, you got grammar and fucking vocabulary up your sleeve. Then you like start getting music theory out, so there's some characters, you know, and then you arrange it, there's a story. All right. Anyway, you're right. Let's focus back on the shit. Permute got me on my damn. my throat itch. Yes, I kind of mentioned this in my previous feedback. Attempt simplifying. Don't overdo the drum weirdness. And I feel like if anything, I'm waiting like for the bass to lay it down a little more straight, I would say. Scoop mid, boost high. Scoop mid, especially on some of these bases. Maybe stereo up some of these like high end, like atmospheric bits. Alright. Still solid. Nuts is the vibe. Questions coming shortly. I'm on the edge of my seat, man. Sound too empty during the drop? Here's what I think. I feel like my feedback has been saying me this evening. I'm too mixed down focused. So I would like a little bit more wetness on the bass. Either that or it's like your main like squelchy formant bass is pretty upfront, pretty clear in focus. Yet your supporting basses are kind of like taking the backdrop, you know? And that makes me want to make the main gritty bass more wet so it fits together. But alternatively, the others could be more dry, more forward. And as for the uncomfortable amount of room, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think if everything was dry and pushed really hard, that wouldn't be a question. But at the same time, if you think the track is feeling like a little bit of ear candy, a little bit of more layers than typical of glitch hop stuff, try that. There's your decisions. There's no third option. Do not. Is it too squash? For your amount of squash, I think like you're pretty fine. I need to change the batteries in this mouse, bro. It's fucking game over. Yeah, it is a pleasant amount of distortion. If anything, I think like the levels between basses is what needs to be more compressed per se. Maybe not literally compressed, but evened out. And these are good questions, like trying to understand the perspective of the first time listener. I like how the snare sits. Sidechain needs to be more distinct on the kick. It's kind of losing. I don't know. I would experiment with having the offbeat snares be a different instrument than the snare. Just a second snare, you know what I mean? I don't know. There's just an element of spice missing. I think it could have set the scene harder. You know what I mean? Like I want a wild card. You know what I mean? It's like Hokie started his new series. Okay, I know what to expect. Like in an episode. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm about at the point, it's like, I want them to introduce the flying dog that's pink and shit. That's a side character to the raccoon. You know, that like, they're buddies. They're enemies and lovers. Real shit. I need to meditate on that one. I'll return to you. I love this MF. If you made him, if you didn't make him, plurt. You're welcome. This is solid. I feel like he's really refining the main ingredients of his sound, being like droney pads, ominous leads, and just woo, 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 woo. No, but really though, you see the same bass elements, but they're just solid. You know, nice pad progression, very nice patches with them. The melody is just simplified and beautiful. Dun, 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 dun. Ominous. The wubs are solid on the bottom. The mix down has become a lot fuller. Wait. 100 boost 200. I don't know, that's subjective. Yeah. Or I would say like cut 100. I wouldn't boost 200 though, because I feel like cutting kind of creates that effect anyway. But at the same time, you could just go in directly to harmonic. It's favorite to introduce harmonics. I mean, I mentioned like if it's a bass like this, then simply like FMing different amounts or having the harmonic series layered in different areas, you know, adjusting that range is solid. You know, even just adding a direct oscillator layered, that's always solid. Increasing FM amounts slightly, you know, also bend modes plus minus, you know, the vital like warping modes can be nice to adjust the tone. It'd be cool if you could do that to a bass that's already processed. You understand? Like as if you process the bass fully, then you can create the bend tone and have it be clean. That would be an awesome technology. I don't think we're quite there yet though. Like Format Shapers do a similar thing. Hello Nebula. Enjoy the pink profile picture here, sir. And other methods, I like phasers, I like flangers, I especially like phasers. They're easy to make things ring out at certain frequencies. You can also just EQ peak and like notch boost to emphasize certain ranges. Also Redux can bring harmonics, so I just name like everything. Somebody write that down, somebody put it in a PDF and sell it on Amazon for $1. Love those ear candies. Where I'm from. Nice structure too. And nice variation how it continues the chord. I would at least like jump the fifths. Like towards the end of phrases to make it sound like it's picking back up. Dun, 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 dun. All right, we up. Brown type. I like the filter. I think it could sound a little less compressed with the filter. Maybe a little more dramatic. Like I like a bit of resonance so you can really hear it sweep up. It's a nice tone. Lucius Schlip. Damn, bro. Damn. Bro needs to be touring for real. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Third time. I'm telling you. Sidechain slightly less release. Break too crowded, yes. I think it sounds solid, but it might sound a little more solid if you just remove your least favorite elements. You know, a little trick they say is just like, yeah. Just remove some background things and see how you feel with it. Additionally, it's pretty intense to have a full drum loop going for the whole duration of. Well, I was kind of looking at this to break my. But I would agree with this. You know, you have like the pad sweeping, this horn, like the kind of guitar. I don't know. You can even reduce it to just one, and that might be strong, even stronger. Phrases are insane. Sound design here is insane. The way it like pushes and pulls, like the way the fills are sound design, runs it around. They're awesome. They're a major standout. My thing is they almost come across slightly quiet to the basses, but I don't want to harm their beautiful airiness. So fullness, I don't know, man. Give it the rundown, man. I don't know. It depends how they're designed. I mean, the cheese method is just to like resample it and put it octaves and see what happens. Yeah. Or even like subtly layer it with itself, format shifted. Brains. And I mean, like, it's gonna be a different set of processing than you would your bass, but I still think if you go really into detail with it, like OTT, subtle, you know, multiband, like EQing like an absurd amount, we can get somewhere. It'll probably be a learning process. It's hard though, because it's not often you want to make those dudes that loud. I don't know, even with like the transient snap, I feel like slight clippiness on it could be fine. You know, just to make that transient like just like stab you, you know? So pretty solid, like minus 1.10 dB. Limiter pushing slightly much for a track from you, but if you enjoy it, it's solid. I kind of enjoy the wide shaker, but I wish there was a little more on the sides joining him. I don't know. I kind of like the dim color of the guitar, but yeah, also like if you're recording with like a Strat or whatever, like change the pickup like to the brighter one usually, especially if it's going to be something you're using in a full mix. Maybe he's on to something. One, two. All right. So on the tone of this bass, it gets like muffled as it like scales and pitches. You might want to try like resampling it because it sounds like it's kind of varying its tone based on what pitch it's hitting, which is a symptom of that. And or, you know, have filters kind of key track it better so it stays bright as it raises in pitch. Splice this bass line, add variation without having to redo everything from the ground up. I don't know what you mean, but I think that's your option. You should probably redo it. No, not redo everything. I mean, tweak the processing. Otherwise, you can just copy the MIDI to another patch if that's easier. Another thing, the lazy method is like you can resample it out and then just chill. Just have like, get some tea or some water. No, you use it as like little plucky moments, little glitches as such. That's an idea. Mess up the massive amount of automation. Okay. I mean, you'd probably have to tweak like one bit of automation. I'm not waiting. Good builds. Already made drop. Add them to a build. I mean, filter it more, you know, like the bass teacher's classic, just high pass it and like reverb as a tease. You can also resample a bass from the drop and like stretch it to kind of like into like a build texture. It's a nice way to do it. I apologize. Overall goodness for Langren's. I think they have like an over processing kind of like mid-rangey sound. Maybe like too much dispersiness. It feels like they're like a little. This one, I like the tone of this, but it has more of that processing. While ones like this can have more wet processing akin to this one. You know, like more similar processing across them. You know, you want the basses at least as a start to have similar width, you know, and similar brightness. So they're brothers. Yes. They do sound like they're keeping the rhythm generally. Just make sure they're like quantized to the beat usually, especially like if they're weird samples or just like the wah wah. Another thing to like keep the momentum. Do 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 do. Increase the volume forward. Do 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 do. Increase the decay forward. Do 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 do. Do. Wow 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 wow. And reverb throw. All right, man. 3-hour stream. The sound echoed in your speakers. Yes. That's the wetness I'm referring to. Like that stuff. Is this him? That was a good time. However. No, I love the mix of the basses. They're so clear, they're so upfront. It sounds straight from the doll. I'm also wondering, like, so what was your insight in terms of mix downs that is making it sound this way? Because I feel like it sounds like almost especially good, like it's like somehow avoiding the infamous SoundCloud compression. Probably because it's not like zeroed or whatever. What's the secret? Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's trash. But yeah, I've been very impressed with the progression of your mix downs, your sound design, and your phrasing. I don't know. I feel like it's lacking some character in terms of like maybe like a catchy vocal sample or just like, you know. But yeah, like you kind of end the phrase on a question, you know, then it ends. Perhaps add a section you know, and another root note, and you could even like drag it out or like tape stop it effect. Let that morph into this. Also, you hear like the chord here like start on a weird beat. Maybe it should have like sustained or even like reverse reverb in. Feels off time. I don't think the second half is any quieter than the first. I mean, like, add little ear candies. I think, like, with how this mix feels, it could use a little, just little blips delayed. Some nice reverb. Ads might be a little over EQ'd, possibly. Might need some breaks. I would just have some moments where just like where it reduces to all just root note. That'd be a cool idea for a break. But I was also referring to, you know, big fill to like a big call, which just kind of spaces it out, and then maybe holding off the drums for a moment before getting back in, like a bit of a tease, fake out element with fat sub on the boom. Wow, I had nice ideas for this one. I've never been nervous. Damn, bro. Bass dudes gotta expand their horizon. That was awesome. The second half, despite the low pass, I mean, that's the whole appeal. It was solid. And I like the sample of myself. It was surprisingly fitting or decent. Usually I hear them and I'm like, oh no. Bass dude's gotta expand their horizon. Maybe like a kind of stereo-ness on this could be cool. Also, this would be really hard to implement, but what I enjoy is key tracking filters, right? And if you kind of modulate something like that on like the individual patch, it'll let it feel a bit brighter and fuller while still giving you that wah, wah. Shit. I don't love the sound of like the bite. So if it was a straight saw wave though, yeah, wah, wah. Bass dude's gotta expand their horizon. Maybe cymbals, just a nice like cymbal loop off of the top could fill it out. Because like with the amount of reverb, it feels like there could be a little more, even though it's very full and dry up front, so I wouldn't be pressed for it. Perhaps. Yes, absolutely. We love filters. Filter tier list. All right, low pass is number 1. No, that'd be fire. All right, drop that in Discord. Low pass, notch, high pass, band pass, combs, reverb. All right, anyway. Bridges and build better. It's pretty solid. I think it could feel more dynamic, like modulating this like pluck amount over time. Like reverb fading in him and like making it feel really amorphous. As unlike MIDI as possible. No, you're right. That's accurate. That's what I show in half of my paid lessons. All right. Focus, sir. Focus. I'm getting too many ideas. Yeah, and I mentioned the second drop. It's really different. I would stick with this though. It's awesome. Maybe like opening the filter just to like a really moody, like just dim, mid-range warm pad. Just to simmer out on the end. Just to play off that nice tone. Yes, literally. Is that gonna last, sir? Halo. All right, this was neat. Some of the keys in it were sketchy though. Because you tease that with the key. Dun, 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 dun. But it's like the drop hits and you take it a whole step lower when I don't think that hits. Strange. Check the key. I like the sound design, pretty solid. I love the riff. I'm not the biggest fan of this song. I prefer the wub in this first sound. This sound. I didn't sidechain. Was it a bad move? It sounds fine. But if you're gonna like mix and master it heavy, I think you're gonna run into a point you're gonna need that sidechain so the kick doesn't clip. Kick probably on the loud side. I think you could just post-process up the basses and then push it into the master, and then sidechain will be needed. Also try it. It's usually nice for the pump sound, although in this one, I'm not sure. It feels relatively dry in a nice way. The spooky riff, the spooky art feels kind of out of place for the vibe and for it not returning. More transitions, more kind of intro, building to like the big drop moment, holding it back, and then rising up with risers, transition sounds, and filters. OBS. Yeah, I think like more layers, smoother transitions, a little more mindful arrangement. Reference. My one.
Yeah, good on my ones. Get me. Right, J microphone center and tight dungeon mode.
I like this processing.
Yes, man. Yo, what we telling them? What could on my ones? Yeah, could on my ones. What could on my ones?
Slope is insane.
Could never try ones. Yeah, could on my ones. What could on my ones? Yeah, could on my ones. Bygones can't be bygones. Yeah, could on my ones. Them not there could never try once. 100% whatever I'm on. Bygones can't be bygones. I said head down, locked in fly mode on. My guy go right your wrongs. I said no one cares why you run so Phoenix. Right my tongue. Yeah, put on my jack. First time stood we running it back. No free rides, no one stood on my back. Stealth I'll be covering tracks, yeah. What? Put on my own, protected. They can't run in my zone. Think any bad vibes can come in my home. Can't take with the next milestone. Hey yo, listen up my mate. I said no one believes your tirades. That's a big signal of your mind state. I said this right here, me refined taste. I don't wanna see you above your station. I don't know where your mind strayed. It's criminal what your side says. Contributing to the crime rate. Yeah, good on my ones. What? Good on my ones. Yeah, good on my ones. Them not there could never try ones. What? Good on my ones. Yeah, good on my ones. What? Good on my ones. Bygones can't be bygones. Never try once, 100% whatever I'm on. Bygones can't be bygones. I said head down, locked in flight mode on. My guy go right your wrongs. I said no one cares about your rants or feelings. I had to bite my tongue. Yo, good on my nelly. Beats bars, everything cool and steady. Start right from when I scoop my brekkie. Can't move unsteady. Fueled up gasoline or petty. Fresh, haven't been there leggy. From time we've been breaking scales, cause sublines been way too heavy. Yo, good on my J's. I not look on my face. Big round there, I was up on my space. Could write a book on my takes. Still here, still trying to do learning. I can't be stuck in my ways. I got a big bag of dubs in a backpack. Look at my double my crate. Yo, good on my ones. Them lot there could never try once. 100% whatever I'm on. Bygones can't be bygones. I said head down, locked in flight mode on. My guy go right your wrongs. I said no one cares about your rants or feelings. I had to bite my tongue. Yeah, good on my ones. What? Good on my ones. Yeah, good on my ones. Them lot there could never try once. What? Good on my ones. Yeah, good on my ones. What? Good on my ones. Bygones can't be bygones.
Sounded professional. Like that was like industry standard level mixed down, like vocal clean, sound design clean, like perfect use of stereo. Like it's just solid, man. I was wondering, did you send this for mixing? Because it's pristine, my dude. Oh, he didn't even ask questions. This was he's just promoting his track. All right. That being said, yeah, pretty flawless. Like on the mix down, sounds right as shit.
I want 100% whatever I'm on. Bygones can't be bygones. I said head down, locked in fly mode on. My guy go right your wrongs. I said no one cares about your rants. Hear me refined taste.
Yeah, and I like the cool robo effects, the variations on that. Honestly, like the real thing to learn is like compare this to like the version from like last week or whatever. That's what nice mixing sounds like. That's like what a glow up is.
Yeah, good on my ones. What? Good on my ones. Bygones can't be bygones.
Yeah, really cool use of like distortion, robot on certain sections of the vocal to add emphasis.
Never try once, 100% whatever I'm on. Bygones can't be bygones. I said head down, locked in flight mode on. Don't mind Nelly. Beats bars, everything cool and steady. Start I'm on. Bygones can't mind Nelly. Beats bars, everything cool and steady. Start right from when I scoop my brekkie. Can't move unsteady. Fueled up gasoline ones. What? Good on my ones. Bygones can't be bygones. Start right from.
Yeah.
Good on my ones. Telling them. J microphone center and tight dungeon mo.
And like distortion filter.
My tongue. Yo, good on my Nelly. He's fun. Feelings are there to bite my tongue.
And it sounds like there it was like maybe even like Combs filter type or like Convolver. Convolver is another great one to do that. Try that. I didn't like the second drop as much.
Steady. Fueled up gasoline or petty. Back, no free rides, no one.
I feel like the cutting off of the wub early in its phrase makes it has less impact. I like to feel the full wow, but if it's just wow. It's like he doesn't close his mouth all the way, so I like it.
Move unsteady. Fueled up gasoline or petty. Fresh, haven't been there leggy. From said this right here, the refined taste.
I feel like it makes the sub feel less weighty too. I feel like sub could be more weighty unless I'm tripping.
Still trying to do guns. I said head down.
And snare maybe on the loud side.
Yeah, good on my ones. Them lot there could never try once. What? Good on my ones. Yeah, good on my ones. What? Good on my ones. On where you're none of your mind. Lean or petty. Fresh, haven't been there leggy. From time we've been breaking scales, cause sublines been way too heavy. Yo, good on my J's. I not look on my face. Big round there, I was up on my space. Could write a book on my takes. Still here, still trying to do learning. I can't be stuck in my.
And just like textbook mixing of like vocal and bass. I really want to know if you did this or like you paid a dude to do it. I'm genuinely curious and honest, you know, but yeah, that's it. He didn't have any questions on it, so fuck him. That being said, that's the end of the fucking stream. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Long stream tonight. I've been taking my sweet old time on feedbacks and shit, but I think it pays off. I hope the advice is valuable. If you need to rewatch, there's a link in the description to rewatch old streams. It's that live stream playlist. And And of course, if you want to thank me for my time and effort in this craft of feedbacking, visit buntingmusic.com. You can book one-on-one lessons from me on there. Can get some free samples. And just enjoy some music production content, dudes. I'll see you. I will be releasing a silly tune soon. Probably this weekend or this coming week. Made tier list, send me that, bro. So be keen on that. I think I'll be handing out some resources. What this means will be left to your imagination. All right. Love y'all. Never stop making tunes. Follow your passion. Do wonderful things.